the best part of painting is when you're kind of like, I don't know, you're just kind of in the zone, and it becomes very meditative, and then you kind of like look up, and then you kind of step back, and it's like, wow, I really like I see them here. They're like alive and like breathing with me. My name is Austen Juul-Hansen. I'm 20 years old, and I'm from Austin, Texas. I started doing art when I was 5. We just would kind of we would do drawing, we would do painting, but I really liked painting, and that was kind of what I was taken with. My dad was also a photographer, and he was a painter for a little bit, and so growing up with that kind of artist perspective kind of helped me see the world in a very specific way. The art scene in Austin, I think, Austin was kind of boring in the past, and I think like lately, in the past 10 years, it's got really interesting and kind of has become this art town in the middle of Texas, and there are some annoying things that come with that. But for the most part, it's been really interesting and blossomed in terms of like who's coming there, because you've got a lot of people coming from New York and LA, and kind of bringing in like different art cultures, which has been really nice. So it kind of feels like a melting pot in that way. And then I also think that you've kind of got the influence from like Mexican art and folk art, because we are on the border. And I think that that plays into a lot of my own art and the art of the artists that I grew up around.
Who are some artists that inspire you in your work?
I grew up, one of them was my friend's mom growing up, Elizabeth Chapin. She's really big in the art community in Austin. And then I also really like Egon Schiele, who does really kind of like disfigured human body portraits that are really interesting and kind of grotesque. For a while, I think that art was a really cathartic way of dealing with myself, and so I did a lot of self-portraiture in high school and in middle school, and I think it was just kind of became this way to connect with myself and deal with like growing up during that time. And then it's interesting noticing how art kind of became like this way to kind of get to know people in a way. I think that my dad really taught that to me specifically, because he's a photographer, and for him, like, it's about the art, but above anything, it's about getting to know the person behind the photo. I remember in high school, I would just kind of see people around and want to paint them, and then I'd go up and just ask if I could photograph them, and it just was a really nice way to kind of connect with people in a way that I think you just wouldn't have the opportunity to do otherwise. I think my mom and my dad as well really kind of raised me to really think a lot about vulnerability and like what it means to get to know someone. And I think a lot of my art kind of centers around like how can I capture someone's vulnerability in a way that a photograph can't. I mean, for a while I was really kind of focused on like the perfectionism of like capturing someone's like entire look. But now I think it's kind of more focused on like how can I just really capture the feeling and the essence of the person, as opposed to just like perfectly rendering what is in the photograph that I've taken of them. The personality and flavor and like color of a person is really the most important part, in my opinion.